It's a Saturday night, December 13th, 2025, and we are at Buggiani Gymnasium at Proctor High School in Proctor, Vermont for the championship game of the Bob Abrahamson Tip-Off Classic. My name is Greg McCormick, and along with me again, special guest Mark Garrow. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you for the invite, man. After doing a game at Proctor in 1979, to get a chance to do one last night was certainly special, and when you invited me back, I couldn't refuse the invitation. It is so cool to be inside this gym, and the one thing that I always feel when I come into places like this is America right here, right? You're in a small town gymnasium. You got a big American flag up there. We'll play the national anthem. We'll play some basketball. This is what America's about.
All right, just to recap, if folks are out there just joining us for the start of this tonight, we had a consolation game earlier, and that was the Twinfield, Twin Valley Wildcats defeating Poultney in that consolation game. This is the championship game, Mark. We saw Twinfield Cabot. Twinfield/Cabot, so that'd be a co-op team. That's generally two schools together, which is nice that the Cabot players get an opportunity to play. 78-57 winners last night over that Twin Valley team. Proctor, of course, defeated Poultney 85-54, which set up our championship game here tonight. But two highly thought-of teams on the floor here tonight. Twin Valley, as we saw, a very good team. They are looking at Twinfield, I'm sorry. You get the two twins at the Twins.
Exactly. Twinfield and Twin Valley. I mean, come on. That's easy to mix up. I think what is going to make this game really strong tonight is the fact that we saw Proctor last night just simply wear down Poultney. Eric Kendall, their point guard, certainly kept things close for Poultney, but time after time after time, Proctor kept making the substitutes, and Proctor kept bringing the waves of fresh players onto the court. Poultney could not match that. Twinfield kind of did the same thing. They both have deep benches. I expect a lot of high pressure, high energy in this game tonight.
That's a Trojan team we are looking at here. Just to talk about the experience on that, is they have mostly seniors. Let's see, I'm just going to count them out here real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Out of 11 players, 9 of them are seniors.
And you look at Poultney last night playing Proctor, they had 5 freshmen on that team. So that certainly is going to be a little bit different for the Phantoms tonight. But you look at their team, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seniors, a lot of juniors, about 5 juniors as well. So this is a fairly veteran team as well. And again, both benches deep, both coaches, last night anyways, they went to that bench early and they went to that bench often. Players stayed fresh, wore down their competition both times, coming out with the W.
All right, we're looking at the Proctor guys right here under their head coach, Mr. Jeremy Cole, and we want to run down these rosters here before we get everybody a mention on here, but we're going to have the pregame introductions here on the court with the athletic director. So let's see if we can watch and listen here a little bit. We'll hear some of this and get this right on video here for you as they introduce the players from each of these teams here on the floor. Then we'll further run down. All right, here is
that's Sam McLean, a senior for Twinfield.
Okay, you're writing these down, right? Or
then this is Ted Stewart, a senior. Eli Russell is number 3 for Twinfield. And then number 13, Omar McKissick-Nib. We're going to have to just call him Omar, I guess, through most of the night. And we also see one of their starters.
Head coach is Chris Bador. All right, home team going to be introduced right now. We got number
Aaron Brock,
wearing
senior
0
forward, and strong game last night. A junior guard, Mason Brothers, number 2. Strong game last night from Ari Camp, the senior forward. He'll start tonight, along with Caden Dean, number 11. And also starting number 13, Isaiah Fernandez. He dropped 4 3-pointers last night. No field goals, no free throws, but he found the bottom of the net with 4 threes.
All right, well, we've had our pregame introductions. We're looking at both the teams right here, the Proctor guys to your left, your 2 officials right in front of our camera here, and the Twinfield team over there. And we're going to pause for our singing, playing of our national anthem. All right, Proctor High School, home of the Phantoms, and a nice rendition of our national anthem sung there at Proctor High School's Busciani Gymnasium.
Looking forward to a great game. These two teams last night, again, high energy, high pressure, deep benches. They're going to keep coming at each other in waves, and this should be a very good game.
Lots of numbers on the varsity of the Proctor Phantom team. We saw the 5 starters introduced here. We're going to try to get everybody's name in there. Aaron Brock, Noah Johnson, Mason Brothers, Jace Sheldrick, Ari Camp, Frank Ujier, Cameron Camp, Caden Dean, Braden Sheehy, Isaiah Fernandez. Fernandez had a nice game last night. Jordan Weezy, Griffin Pomeroy, Sawyer Crossman, Camden, Scooby Kimball, and Lucas Cole.
And for the Trojans of Twinfield, Sam McLean, Tej Stewart, Eli Russell, Zephyrin Hebert, Wyatt Bickford, Azim Stewart, Omar McKissick-Nib, Sam Churchill, Thomas Gouge, Brendan Nagel, Ben Monaco. That's their bench and starting lineup.
Caden Dean, number 11 in there for Proctor, and it is Sam McLean for the opponents, and ball slapped immediately right out of bounds.
It'll be Proctor ball. Fernandez, it will inbound to Smothers, and we'll get this thing underway. Clock finally running in this game, the championship game. Proctor against Twinfield.
And it's going to be nice to see how these teams match up here. We'll get a
quick turnover.
Yeah, a couple of them actually knocked right out of bounds immediately.
So Todd Stewart bringing the ball up now for the Trojans. Proctor has opened up into man-to-man defense. Stewart trying to dribble, gets cut off by Camp. Shot off the rim, big rebound. That was Caden Dean, I believe, that went up and got that one.
All right,
Smothers now back to Fernandez.
Ball top of the circle, just working around the perimeter. The first couple of minutes, Mark, not even a minute gone. You just try to get a feel for what's going on here. You see, looks like a zone defense here from Twinfield. So obviously they're going to try to protect that interior right there and keep Proctor out of that. Proctor had a lot of points last night on transition here.
And Pulteney opened up in a zone defense last night and held Proctor close in the first half before they blew it open with a third period in which Proctor outscored Pulteney 34-10. Brock now trying to make a dribble inside, gets cut off, back to Dean, back to Fernandez, over on the wing. He takes a look at possible 3, pulls it back in. Brock now loses the dribble to Smothers. Caden Dean, 3-pointer, nothing but air there, and quickly back up the court.
Proctor taking their time on that last possession, burned up a good half minute or more, and that's a quick shot there by the Trojans at their end of the floor off the rim, and that one was no good.
So Stewart again with the ball for the Trojans. Quick give and go. Good pass inside.
Very nicely done.
And the basket for Thomas Gouge, a senior for Twinfield. They lead 2-0. 2 minutes into this game, just 2 points scored.
All right, Trojans pressure the ball as Proctor brings it over the half-court line. And moving that zone out.
That ball knocked out of bounds by Sam McLean as he was guarding Brock for the Phantoms.
All right, so who is it, Proctor here? Yes, it is.
So Smothers into Fernandez. Fernandez is getting harassed in a big way by Eli Russell, who's got him man-to-man. Brock with a long 3, again, doesn't find the rim. Long pass down to McLean, or rather Eli Russell. 4-0 the score, 5:30 to go here in the first quarter. Smothers trying to bring the ball up, and he is getting a lot of pressure. Man-to-man on him is Omar McKissick-Nib.
Sideline violation right there, ball going out of bounds. Both of those Twinfield baskets are on that transition on the turnover. It was a turnover by the Proctor team there as they take it right to the hoop for a couple of quick baskets.
Proctor is taking a quick timeout. Their coach does not like the way this game has started. They have not handled the pressure well Great defense by Twinfield. They are making it very difficult. They're man-to-man. They are up right on top of the Proctor players, not giving them much breathing room. They're trying to drive. The driving lanes have been cut off. They've taken the last 2 shots, 3-pointers that found nothing but air. They weren't just misses. They were bad misses.
All right, we look at the Twinfield team here, right? Twin Valley, another one of the teams in this tournament, the winner of the consolation game again. If you're just joining us here on this production on PEGTV, thank you for watching. Hope you're enjoying it. Basketball at its best here in Vermont, Bougiani Gymnasium. And the ball inbounded here by the Trojans. Back in play here after the timeout here on the floor.
That's Tez Stewart, their point guard. He's a big kid for a point guard. Back out to Stewart. He swings it back around. They swing it back to him. He drives, puts the ball up off the glass. Stewart now on the scoreboard. The score 6-0. Proctor has yet to score, and we have burned off 3 minutes here in the first quarter.
That's a good shot there by Stewart. Looked a little bit off balance there, but managed to make it go.
Smothers has the ball now to Dean. Dean tries to go up. A great block right there. Quick outlet pass to Ted Stewart. Stewart with the layup, 8-0. Proctor is being pummeled right now early here in the first quarter, and not used to this defense. Smothers is trying to get around Omar.
That'll be 3 on that one.
So I believe that was Brock with the 3 in the corner.
All right, so finally we get Proctor on the board. Took him about half the first quarter to do that. There will be a shot put up there by Tej Stewart. Misses, tipped back up underneath, and that one not going to go. Another rebound coming down here to the Trojans. Get more opportunity.
2 good offensive rebounds there.
Hey, nice feed, a little give and go. Inside in the lane was Thomas Gouge.
That's his second bucket of the night. 4 of the 10 points by Gouge. So Twinfield Cabot's Tej Stewart, their point guard, called for the foul. The refs to this point have let them play a little bit. The defense has been very aggressive by Twinfield, and almost to the point of too aggressive, but that is the first foul called against them.
All right, so it seems like a quick moving quarter here. Just like we saw last night, we were talking about how fast these games move. Or feels like it anyway.
Sure does.
Some feel like the earlier game was not like that.
Camp wins the battle to the rim, but now quickly Twinfield the other way. And there's Omar again. I want to say his name is McNibb, I hope, or Knib. I'm not quite sure. We'll have to find out how to pronounce that to make sure here we get it right. But great play by him. He finds the basket. Brock again, 2 threes in a row. He's keeping them in the ball game, 12-6, with 3:10 clock running in the first quarter.
All right, Proctor crowd liking that one. You could hear the cheers there in the background as that second bucket hit. Been tough getting those baskets tonight here so far for Proctor. And there's a nice drive into the lane, coming in right side runner there by Jason. Or chuck that right side runner by Eli Russell.
Caden Dean with the rebound for the Phantoms. Over to Isaiah Fernandez. Fernandez long 3. Clanks off the rim. Back the other way come the Trojans in a big hurry, quick transition. 3-point shot. Bounces off the glass, doesn't get the rim. Ari Camp now trying to drive the ball down the court. He swings it. Back to Brock. Brock with a skip pass across the court to Fernandez, and it's another turnover for the Phantoms. An ill-advised pass by Aaron Brock. Into the game now for the Trojans. Sam Churchill is in the lineup now for the Trojans. Looks like he's taking the place of Sam McClain.
All right, here comes the Trojans down the floor. Top of the circle shot. That'll be a 3-point attempt there off the rim. No good. Eli Russell, the shooter on that rebound by the Trojans. Going to stay here with the Twinfield Cabot team.
We're getting to 2 minutes on the clock here in the first quarter. And although Twinfield, it feels like to me, dominated, again, they're only up 6 points. Another 3 off the rim. Rebound by Twinfield. Back to Stewart.
Those 12 points, as we said, that was just, it seemed like Proctor, getting picked off there a few times, so points in transition.
Ari Camp called for the foul there. That's going to be just the first for the out. Will come Knib, and in the game back will go Sam Churchill, or Sam McLean rather. And it looks like in the game for Proctor is going to be Cameron Camp, the sophomore guard. Shot off the backboard. Offensive rebound.
All right, Stewart, 2 shots. That's the second one right there.
Another offensive rebound. Smothers, though, knocks the ball away, leads the pack down the court. Over to Caden Dean, back to Smothers. Good drive. Will he try to take a shot? Won't. Swings it back around to Ari Camp.
All right, so we will have.
That's going to be on Tej Stewart again. That looks like, I believe that's his second foul. Only two fouls for Twinfield. Both of them on their starting point guard, Tej Stewart.
All right, this is Mason Brothers for Proctor that is going to put the ball in play. Ball goes top of the circle here. Is Proctor looking for a seam there, left side of the free throw line. Good defensive play, but still nicely done by Camp. Kind of turned himself sideways there, protected the ball enough to get a shot off, and drops it in for the 2.
One of the top scorers for Proctor last night gets his first 2.
Omar Knib.
He is certainly a very quick player for Twinfield.
He has a middle.
Again, and as much as they kind of dominated play, Proctor has not panicked, and they've scrambled back into this ball game, scored 12-8 with 39 seconds left, clock running here in the first quarter.
That last shot attempt at the other end hit the ceiling. That's why we have possession here going back to Proctor, which is out of bounds if it goes high off the rim like that.
Ari Camp again, the drive, pull up.
Foul.
He got him. Yes, he did. Sam McLean got him on the elbow. So Camp goes to the line for 2 shots, could cut the gap to just 2 points. And again, it looked like Twinfield was going to run him out of the gym early on in this first quarter, but a lot of poise by Proctor as they have just quietly tried to fight their way back into it. And right now, Twinfield has their starting guard on the bench with 2 fouls, Tej Stewart. And you got to believe we might not see him at all in the second quarter, trying to protect him with those 2 fouls. Camp misses both shots, but Caden Dean gets the rebound.
All right, Proctor back top of the circle into the free throw line over to Camp at right time.
Braden Sheehy in the game for the first time for Proctor tonight. He gets the 3, immediately makes an impact. Sheehy with a 3 pulls the Proctor Phantoms to within 1 point.
There's your buzzer shot. That one put up by Sam McLean. Going to be a little bit short there, a little wide left of the basket. But Proctor liking what they did in the second half of that first quarter. It was the Twinfield Cabot team coming out, running with it pretty well there in the first few minutes. And then the second half of that first quarter, I would say, belonged to Proctor.
It certainly did. And again, the intensity of Twinfield, that defense, I think it took Proctor a little while to adapt to it. And Greg, it's something you talked about last night. We can't forget, these are the opening games of the season, right? It's one thing to practice against your teammates. It's another to be under the gun against a team that is in your face and playing a really hardcore man-to-man defense like Twinfield is. So I think there was a little bit of shock and awe early on in this first quarter, but again, showing some poise and showing a little bit of courage. They just kind of held their own. The Phantoms kind of fought their way back. And for them to be just down 1 point at the end of the first quarter after the start of the first quarter, that's a nice surprise.
And there is some familiarity with these teams here tonight. All 4 of these teams were in this tournament last year, so they've got some history here. Know each other from last year. Twinfield Cabot, last year's champion, and a very senior-laden team here. As we said, 9 out of 11 players are seniors, so they have real high hopes. They're one of the teams that is highly looked at, or highly regarded to make it back to Barrie, but very early to talk about that. First couple of games of the season, and we have second quarter action underway. 1 point advantage.
Eli Russell, long 3, rims out. Ari Camp will lead the Phantoms down the court.
That advantage Twinfield. And let's see if Proctor, it'll be a big roar if they get the lead back here.
Also in the game for Proctor right now, Sawyer Crosman.
There we go. There's your big roar.
Caden Dean, number 11 with the three-pointer. And now Proctor, for the first time tonight, has the lead 14-12. So foul on Proctor. It's going to be against Cameron Camp, their sophomore guard. And that is the first foul for the Phantoms here in the second quarter.
All right, so Twinfield will be inbounding, and Proctor turning up the pressure here on defense.
Caden Dean kicking that one out of bounds. So Eli Russell is going to be putting the ball in for Twinfield. Russell with a pump fake. Now the drive off the rim, gets his own rebound, swings it back round to Sam McLean.
And that was certainly a foul right there as the shooter got hammered there right to the floor. That's Zephyrin Hebert. Going to have a foul here for...
That's going to be on Caden Dean for Proctor. He got his money's worth.
There was actually two players in on that defensively, but...
They got their money's worth on that one.
So Zephyrin Hebert, one of the 9 seniors here on this Trojan team, is on the line to shoot.
That first shot going down pulls them to within 1 point of the Phantoms with 7:10. Clock frozen here in the second quarter.
All right, so this would tie it up if we get this second free throw to go in.
He drains both. Tie score now.
All right, just what you want to see here in a championship game. Very closely played. There's maybe a foul, but not called. Shot attempt to put up. Proctor and Cameron Camp going to miss that one. Rebound coming down here to Twinfield. Twinfield will have to back out.
Knib now, it looks like he's playing point guard in place of Ted Stewart, who's their starter, who's on the bench with 2 fouls. That foul is going to be on number 12 for the Phantoms, and that is Braden Sheehy, the sophomore forward. Proctor has an interesting mix of sophomore, senior, juniors. You mentioned Twinfield, it was all one, basically senior heavy, but Proctor has an interesting mix.
All right, a little give and go. Ball knocked into the backcourt. Trojans recover it. They get an easy layup attempt, and they're going to miss that shot. That one taken by Omar Miksik Nib. Hope I'm pronouncing his name right. And Proctor with the rebound and possession. Phantoms now top of the circle, having a little difficulty here. That loose ball knocked loose over to the sideline. Going to see who's going to get possession here. It does go out of bounds.
I think Proctor right now, they need to kind of cut back a little bit on the dribbling, try to find some passing lanes. Very stifling man-to-man defense by Twinfield. And they've made it difficult for Proctor to drive to the basket.
Proctor doing well with the slower pace here. That fast pace was what built up that lead here for the Trojans.
Harry Camp.
That'll be a foul right there.
And that's going to be on Zephyrin Hebert. He was trying to do a double team with Omar Knib and got into the body of Harry Camp, knocked him back. He'll now inbound the pass. Absolutely telegraphed that one.
Well, that was nicely done there. Sam McLean picked off that inbounds pass, and following, trailing down the floor was Eli Russell. Eli going in for a shot, got fouled. And this is Eli going to the line. He'll shoot.
Absolutely telegraphed that inbound pass. Easy steal, easy break for Twinfield.
All right, Coach Cole, as you can see there on our camera just in front of us, got a couple of players coming up off the bench, getting ready to go in.
So Fernandez is coming back into the game, as will Smothers, or rather Mason Brothers. Out of the game, Caden Dean comes out for Proctor, as well as Sawyer Crosman. And back on the line for that second shot, trying to go 2 for 2, is Eli Russell. That one around the rim and out. Fernandez now brings the ball up court for the Phantoms.
All right, so Trojans back in their zone defense here. Proctor working against that right now over to the right sideline. Get it into the free throw line area. There's Fernandez, top of the circle. And going to let one go from three-point range. That one will be off the mark as we see going out of bounds here at the baseline. And Proctor got to get back. There's a quick move there. Break right to the basket.
And that is going to be Zephyrin again. Zephyrin Hebert rather. Proctor lazy coming down the court that time. I mean, they were all congregating at midcourt having a powwow.
Drove by him. Well, Proctor did the same thing, returned the favor right there, Braden Sheehy.
Yeah, exactly. They got a little, Twinfield got a little lazy on defense as well.
All right, shot out three-point range, right side of the basket. That is Eli Russell. Hit that one high off. That's out of bounds too, comes off the rim.
Aaron Brock in the game now, getting a little bit of a breather, is going to be Ari Camp. And again, coach for the Phantoms trying to keep his team fresh. Fernandez pulls up, three-pointer, no good. Rebound by the Trojans quickly down the court. They'll try to drive all the way. And Omar Kanib does just that on defense. I don't know if you would call that defense. And not much there for Proctor. They're going to have to tighten things up, but the score still only 19-16. Twinfield up by only 3 points.
All right, Proctor trying to make a move down low toward that baseline. The ball gets deflected, knocked out of bounds. The Proctor player there protesting, Mason Brothers. Thought it might have been knocked away from him.
He was trying to, full timeout being called by Twinfield. Proctor again having difficult times with this man-to-man defense. They're trying to drive to the basket, something they were able to do last night with Pulteney. Can't do it with this team, so they're going to have to find another way. They're going to have to be a little more aggressive on their cuts, setting picks, trying to open some players up because they're not able to drive to the basket. And Twinfield playing some really tight man-to-man defense, not allowing that to happen. Looking good right now in that aspect.
All right, we have a clock stopped here with 4:39 left to go here first half. It's been a very quick first half here as we have, there's the scoreboard for you. We'll show you that here on camera. 19 belongs to Twinfield. And Twinfield Cabot, the 16 to home team Proctor. This is the championship game of the Bob Abrahamson tournament. I believe we get Bob over there at the sideline. That'd be Bob right in the center of your screen, who this tournament is named after. And just a wonderful place to be here in Proctor, Vermont at Proctor High School.
I'm supposedly on vacation. I'm loving coming to see some basketball.
And folks, you're listening to Mark Garrow. Mark started off over here in Proctor many years ago. We won't tell him how many. I guess we already did that.
1979. I did a game here at Proctor for WHWB. What I always found amusing was your dad, Frank McCormick, thought the AM station was the Big Mac Daddy, and we had a 50,000 watt FM to broadcast games at night. He didn't know if that FM thing was going to catch on, but it did. Twinfield down the court. McNibb with the shot. Tej Stewart back in the game, puts the ball back up and in. So Stewart with 2 fouls. Again, a little bit of a chance right now. He's going to have to be careful not to pick up a third before we get to the end of the opening half. Fernandez to Sheehy. Sheehy trying to drive against Stewart. That's smart play. Proctor trying to pick on him just a bit to try to get a 4th foul. So that's going to be Braden Sheehy.
And Nib will be on the line. Or Kanib.
Yeah, we're going to have to find that at halftime. I hate to call it wrong the whole game.
Well, it's spelled K-N-I-B-B.
Yeah, it's Knib, I believe. But just want to make sure of that.
He actually has
he has been a very good-looking player in this first half for Twinfield Cabot. Sheehy with the rebound. Over to Brothers with the drive.
Mason Brothers, a very nice move, strong, right to the basket, underhanded shot, and got fouled. So 2 and maybe a 3-point play. We'll see.
Junior guard, nice drive. First time all night he's been able to make that drive. So into the game now is going to be Thomas Gouge again. Sam McLean out for Twinfield. And now the referees are not going to allow that replacement. So they'll call a 30-second timeout to try to get that replacement made. 3:44 on the clock in the second quarter. Twinfield leading Proctor 22-18. So even though Twinfield, you just get the feel, has kind of dominated this game, again, Proctor hanging tough, only 4 points back.
All right, so we have a good crowd again, Mark, here on hand tonight. We talked about that last night, here, night number 1, night number 2, championship night and consolation game night. Always another good crowd as you look at the Phantom stage there with a choice seat.
Tom Haley holding court from the Rutland Herald.
There's Tom up there, right corner of your screen. One of the folks sit on the stage. Outstanding writer for the Rutland Herald.
Has to have his Diet Coke, and he's a happy man.
All right, we are ready to go from the free throw line after the timeout. The shooter is Proctor's number 2. That's Mason Brothers you're looking at on the line to shoot.
Could be a 3-point play, and it is. 22-19, 3-point play brings Proctor back to within 3. Kined with the ball over to Russell for Twinfield. He drives on the basket, off the basket, no good. Rebound by Sheehy. And he was passing it to Aaron Brock. Brock was not looking for the ball. Ari Camp thought the ball was coming to him, and the ball went zipping between those two players. Coach can't be very happy with that one. That's an unforced error right there for Proctor.
All right, so the ball put in play here by the Trojans.
Tej Stewart driving to the basket. Move. Great layup.
That was great ball handling right there.
And again, that's being pretty aggressive with 2 fouls. Driving into the lane, you're always in danger of maybe picking up an offensive foul, but Stewart with a great drive, great finish. Smothers again, or Brothers rather, again. They're going to call him for a foul. A foul on him, so Proctor will put the ball in. 3 fouls in this quarter by Twinfield. 5 for Proctor, so Twinfield is going to be on the line for the bonus. Ari Camp again, he's having a hard time getting things going. Stewart again with the drive, ball is in. I believe that's 8 points now for their point guard for the Trojans, Tej Stewart.
Yeah, loose ball here. This may be, let's see, breakaway coming down Ari Camp. To make sure that didn't happen, both number 4s involved. So 4 will foul 4. That's 16 fouls here for Proctor, so that should be a shooter here, I think.
I don't think he was in the act of shooting. He was about ready to make a pass, but as you talked about, they are in the bonus right now.
So that new rule there, where you get that he had 6, that was 5. So
right.
We're going to have two shots.
And so he's made a big impact since he came back in the game. 2 baskets, now a free throw. Could be 6 points here real quick for the starting point guard for the Trojans, Tej Stewart, the senior. Ball off the rim. Ari Camp with the rebound. He hasn't gotten things going. Every time he tries to drive, look at, he had 3 Trojans trying to stop him. And then Sheehy from the top of the key. That's a 3-pointer. So 27-21 the score. 2:08 clock running in the second quarter.
All right side of the foul line. We get a shot. Stewart put that one up, misses. Rebound.
Cameron Camp goes for the drive. Doesn't get it, but he gets the foul. Cameron Camp is going to the line for 2 shots. 1:53 left now in the second quarter.
So he'll be helped up here by his teammates there. So we have a personal foul probably on Knib.
That's his fourth team foul for Twinfield in the second quarter. Cameron Camp does not get the ball to go down. He'll get a second chance. So Ted Stewart out of the game right now. His coach, after they kind of built a small lead of 6 points, again protecting Ted Stewart, their starting point guard, has 2 fouls. And so they'll try to ice him maybe for the rest of this half.
Eli Russell in
Cameron Camp 0 for 2, missed both of those free throws.
Good second effort. Foul committed on that play is Sam Churchill underneath the boards. Got the rebound, right back up with it. Sam will be on the line to shoot. Should be shooting 2.
So that's the 7th foul for Proctor. That is going to be on Aaron Brock, his first of the game. Caden Dean coming into the game now. Brock will come out.
So substitutions coming in here both sides as we got under 2 minutes, Mark, left to go here in this half.
So missed both of those free throws. Proctor on offense. I think very key time in this ball game right now. Proctor is down 6. They cannot let this lead grow anymore. Camp is going to call a tie-up. Camp with the drive, does not get the ball to fall. And I don't think, Greg, at this point that Ari Camp has scored a point. And one of the top scorers from last night at this point scoreless. And every time he tries to drive, 2 or 3 guys attack him on defense, and he's found it difficult. So he's on the wing right now, back out to the top of the key to Braden Sheehy. Sheehy, long 3, bounces off the backboard, doesn't catch the rim. Caden Dean with the steal. Brothers with the drive, he'll get the foul.
That was one good aggressive move right into the paint right there, and foul is committed, as you saw. Braden Sheehy.
Thomas Gouge is going to get the foul for the Trojans, and Brothers is going to the line. Again, the gap, 6 points.
All right, so not on Sheehy, but not Sheehy the shooter. It's going to be
Brothers gets the first one. And that closes the gap to 5 points. Proctor trailing Twinfield with 1:10 to go in the second quarter. Brothers does not get the second to go. Rebound by Gouge. And now Knib will lead them down the court. Looks to drive inside, can't get it done. Off to Eli Russell. Russell loses the handle. Ari Camp will get the steal, try to drive down the court. He's going to try to go the whole way. Has to pull up. Back to Cameron Camp. Camp off the rim. Eli Russell now. Long pass down the court. And going in for the layup is going to be Zephyrin Hebert. And the gap grows now to 7 points, 29-22, 35 seconds left in the second quarter. Brothers does not get it to go down. Again, Twinfield on the attack, quickly going down the court. Cameron Camp is going to get the foul. Cameron Camp is going to get the foul. And that is going to be his second one.
All right, we have less than a half a minute left to go here in this first half. So that foul committed right there will bring us back to the free throw line, and on the line to shoot, Eli Russell. Eli's going to shoot 2 here. Long since seen 5 team fouls here for each of these teams.
He'll get the first one. 26.6 seconds left here in the second quarter. The lead growing now to the largest they've had in this game tonight, 30-22, Twinfield over Proctor.
All right, Ben Monaco just stepping into the lineup here for the last half a minute or so. Second free throw off the rim. That one is no good. And Caden Dean with the rebound. Here come the Phantoms down over the half-court line. Harry Camp foul line.
He dragged his foot. That's going to be a travel.
Yeah, good call on that, Mark.
Tried to put the brakes on. Didn't work. And Proctor has got to find a way to get Harry Camp, you know, kind of in the flow and get him some good shots. He is not getting the drive to the basket. They need to set him up for something else.
All right, pace by Eli Russell slowed right up, looking for last shot here. 6 seconds. 5, drive to the basket, little dish off. Let's see, there's going to be a foul. Harry Camp going to...
He traveled first. He definitely shuffled his feet first, so Proctor has a chance to cut the gap, but they've only got 2.4 seconds back. Twinfield is going to pressure the entire court. Harry Camp with a long running three-pointer does not get it. So the score at the half, 30 Twinfield, 22 Proctor. The gap 8 points as we head to the second half.
All right, we'll see if we can get you some stats here coming up here halftime at the Holiday Classic, Bob Abrahamson Holiday Classic Championship game. More coming. All right, halftime just about over with, and a pretty close game here in the championship game. Mark Garrow along with me, Greg McCormick. We have 30-22, and the Twinfield Cabot team mark up on top by 8. Good first half.
It certainly is. Tej Stewart, their point guard, leading them with 9 points. Eli Russell has 6. 4 points for Zephyrin Hebert, 7 for Omar McKissick-Nib. We've been pronouncing that Knib, but this K is silent. Nib with 7. He's looked really good. Thomas Gouge has 4. For the Phantoms of Proctor, their scoring led by Braden Sheehy with 7. 6 for Aaron Brock. 4 for Mason Brothers. 3 for Caden Dean. 2 for Ari Camp. And again, I think the key to maybe Proctor overcoming this deficit in the second half, they've got to get Ari Camp going. Last night, one of their leading scorers has only 2 points in the opening half.
All right, well, thank you for running down there getting those pronunciations at the sideline.
Yes, sir. Well, it's bad news to call a guy the wrong name all game long, so that's on us for the first half. So, Mr. and Mrs. Nib, we're sorry for mispronouncing Omar's name wrong in the first half.
All right, and it is second half action now you're looking at underway here. Bougiani Gymnasium. Oh, what a block.
Caden Dean with the rejection. Ari Camp down the court quickly. Back to Dean. Dean brings the ball out over to Fernandez. Fernandez tries to drive, but Nib will block him off. Back to Brothers. The junior guard tries to drive. He can't do it. Aaron Brock with a long 3. Ball is off. Eli Russell then is off and running. Tries to drive the court. Ball blocked by Brock. He gets it. Bounce pass to Fernandez. Fernandez misses the layup. Caden Dean, though, ball bouncing around, gets it back, and then a very ill-advised pass cross-court gets picked off by Twinfield.
All right, here come the Trojans down the floor. Top of the circle, and there's a drive to the basket. A little hesitation there by Tej Stewart. Looked like a little hesitation, waited for the opportunity. Right to the basket, got fouled.
Ari Camp with the foul, I believe. No, they're going to... Yeah, they're going to call it on Ari Camp. That's going to be his 3rd. And so Tej Stewart opens up the second half with 2 points. He now has 11 for the game. He picked up 2 quick fouls, had to spend some time on the bench in the second quarter, but very effective when he's in the game. Ball in and out on that free throw. Brock with the rebound to Dean.
Nice rebounding effort.
Dean will lose the ball, get it back. Proctor having a hard time getting the ball up court on this very aggressive man-to-man defense. Turnaround by Caden Dean. He'll get it. 32-24 the score.
Good defensive pressure on that shot attempt by Tej Stewart. Misses the shot, ball becomes loose and rebounded there by Proctor. Good job on the boards there by the Proctor Phantoms too, Caden Dean.
Fernandez gets it to drop. Hit the rim, jumped in the air about 4 or 5 feet, and straight down through the bucket. 32-27 the score.
Well, you remember, Mark, there's a drive to the basket, shot put up and hit there by Nib. Omar Nib right to the basket, left side shot. Big third quarter last night from Proctor.
34-10 against Pulteney last night. They lose the ball again. Here's Tej Stewart on the break, doesn't get it. Rebound up and in. That's Sam McLean. That's his first 2 points of the game.
All right, so we are running up and down the floor here. Both teams moving that ball up the floor. That's an out of bounds here this end of the floor. So it's going to be out off Proctor. Going to be a turnover there with 5:44 left to go here, third quarter.
So the two refs got together, and the back ref saw the ball go off of Twinfield, so they changed the call. So Proctor will go back on offense, down 36-27, 5:44 to go in the third quarter.
All right, Erie Camp going to be inbounding here at the sideline. Ball in play, Proctor.
Braden Sheehy to Brothers. Sheehy will try to set a pick to get Brothers up court. That works. Brock, long three. Off the rim, doesn't get it. Tez Stewart with the rebound. Driving down the court to Nib. Back to Churchill, or McLean rather. And here's Russell driving.
That's good defensive pressure there by Proctor's Mason Brothers, and also in there Braden Sheehy. They kind of knocked that ball loose, and then the Trojan player trying to get it back knocked it out of bounds, so Proctor will get it on the possession. Full court man-to-man we're looking at here, so Trojans want to turn up the pressure on Proctor. They handle it pretty well, though.
Sheehy with a good pick for Erie Camp, but Camp loses the ball. Twinfield down the court, Russell with the layup. And the gap, 38-27, now has grown to 11 points here in the third quarter. And again, a takeaway. And it's Russell with the layup again.
I think you're going to see a timeout here. Proctor does not want to probably play that kind of a run game here so much with this team. They're very good at it, picking off those passes. Saw a lot of that in that first game, the consolation game. Saw a lot of Pulteney do that last night in the first half of the first game.
Right.
And now it is Twinfield that is doing it. Just picking off those passes, anticipating that, picking it off, and then very quickly right to the basket, showing great quickness.
So one of the players for Twinfield has a bloody nose, and they're trying to do what they can to stop that. And the coach for Proctor, of course, that is Jeremy Cole, very animated right now, trying to exhort his team to not only play better defense, but really handle the ball better because the turnovers have come fast and furious as the points have come fast and furious here in the third quarter for Twinfield.
All right, so we have a pause here for the timeout. Obviously, a full timeout we're looking at. You're looking at the Proctor guys sideline right here. Home team Proctor hosting this tournament. 4:46 left to go here, third quarter. Very quick first half, it felt like, and things moving very quickly halfway through the third quarter, Mark Garrow. And crowd enjoying this one. You kind of like this when you get a nice, close, good, solid matchup.
Absolutely. These two teams certainly very quick, but again, very difficult. So coming on now for Twinfield, number 44, Ben Monaco. He'll take the place of Eli Russell's got a little bit of a bloody nose. They're trying to stop that. Erie Camp with the ball to Brothers for Proctor, trying to get the ball over half court. They finally are able to do that. And again, stifling defense from Twinfield. And again, they are trying to trap the ball while playing a very aggressive man-to-man. Erie Camp with the drive. Ball off the rim, doesn't get it. And so Ben Monaco with the rebound for Twinfield, gets it up to Tez Stewart. He tries to drive. McLean now over to Nib.
Kicked.
So Proctor apparently kicked the ball, so it'll be Twinfield out of bounds. 4:12 in the third quarter left. 40-27 is the score. Twinfield starting to ease away with a very aggressive defense. Nib with a layup.
Beautifully done right there. He just saw that opening and showing great quickness to take it right to the hoop for the two.
11 points now for him.
Erie Camp hit
So
the
it's
floor
going
hard.
to be a foul on Twinfield. Zephrin Hebert with the foul.
All right, so we are going to have the ball, as you see, across the court there, inbounded from the sideline. This is Harry Camp controlling it now, the main ball handler here for Proctor.
Again, I think Proctor's just trying to dribble past these guys, trying to drive, and it's not working. They've always got an answer, but that's a great pass. Brothers over to Caden Dean. 2 points for Proctor. They need to rinse, repeat, and wash. Do that a bunch of times, and Nib answers immediately. 6 points for him here in the third quarter.
All right, here's Camp now, top of the circle. We'll pass it out, looking for a little help out on top. This is Mason Brothers with it. Brothers trying to find an angle in here. Pretty good job on defense there by Hebert for the Trojans. Now coming around the corner for it is Brock. Back to the top of the circle.
Harry Camp again trying to dribble in, and again, no luck there. The ball bounces around, winds up in the hands of Braden Sheehy. Sheehy thought Aaron Brock was driving to the basket and tried to pass it to him. Brock wasn't looking for the ball. Another turnover for Proctor. Those are the things that drive coaches crazy. Turnovers like that after good, strong defensive plays have been made.
All right, here comes Twinfield down the floor, slowing up the pace here a little bit. We've been running the floor here in this third quarter. Slower right now. They feed it inside for a shot attempt. Jeffrey Hebert. And there's a Proctor drive, beautifully done, right to the basket. Mason Brothers laying it up for the 2. Ball with the Twinfield team, top of the circle. Nice drive to the basket. Very good ball handler is number 13 there for Twinfield.
Omar Nib, I mean.
Showing some excellent ball handling skills. He can just take it right in there.
And Greg, he's been effective on both ends of the court. Very strong player on defense as well. And I think that's where this game's being won right now. Twinfield just simply a smothering man-to-man defense.
And this is Nib is on the line. He's going to shoot 2 here. So he got fouled. Got number 13 up on the board here for Proctor. That's Fernandez. He's been a little quiet tonight. Isaiah Fernandez.
Yep. Cameron Camp comes into the game now along with Sawyer Crossman for the Proctor Phantoms. Brock will take a seat on the bench, and getting a bit of a breather as well will be Mason Brothers. Ted Stewart on the drive. Eli Russell, the pass, the layup. 2 more for the Trojans.
All right, Proctor winning the trip down the floor here, getting back there quicker, and they'll get 2. Only to be having the exact same thing happen at the other end of the floor. Both number 3s involved. That was Eli Russell. We just saw hit the basket for the opponents, the Trojans of Twinfield. Proctor with the top of the circle. Under 2 minutes left to go here in this quarter. Third quarter action we're looking at. Ball goes into the free throw line.
So who got the last basket for Proctor? I was trying to remember who that was. Again, they lose the ball. Another turnover for Proctor. Whoa, Cameron Camp sold out to try to make the block on Eli Russell. Lands hard on his left side. And he gets up limping just a bit, but apparently banged his right side. So again, trying to be aggressive to make the block, got in the air and got a little bit out of shape. So Cameron Camp will come out, Braden Sheehy in for Proctor.
Number 3 made the last basket for us.
All right, last Proctor basket. You were looking for that. That would be Jace Sheldrick. All right. Now we got another basket there. We just saw underneath from Twinfield.
And that was that Mr. Nib again?
Yes.
Wow. What a third quarter that he has had.
And right now it gets away from everybody. We see it roll out of bounds on the floor. And we'll just wait for the official call here from the baseline. Who gets possession? Looks like Proctor going to have it.
So Crossman will bring the ball in. Fernandez, long 3. Nothing but air, but again, Sheehy gets the ball back in play. It bounces off Twinfield. Proctor ball. 1 minute left, 52-33, third quarter. here at Bougiani Gym in Proctor.
Harry Camp trying to drive to the basket with it. Looked like he got stripped from him as he was going in. And then we see it go out of bounds. Going to stay, it looks like, in Proctor hands, and Sawyer Crossman will be the inbounder. Number 20 going to put it in play from the baseline.
Camp again trying to get his game going. Sheehy with the runner. Doesn't get it, but he gets his own rebound. Caden Dean, turnaround jumper from about the foul line, doesn't go. And Omar Nib again with the ball, the drive, the shot in. Nib almost unstoppable here in the third quarter.
No answer for Nib as he's really had a nice ball game here tonight. There's a nice baseline drive, shot put up there by Sheehy. Baseline coming in on that right side of the basket. Going to have a foul here.
So apparently hit a part of the backboard that was not in play. So it is going to be Twinfield ball, 54-33. A gap has grown to 21 points in the third quarter. And this is exactly what Proctor did to Pulteney last night. Twinfield is doing to Proctor, just burying them in the third period. Game was pretty tight coming out of the half, but this third quarter, it has been all Twinfield.
Well, it was a good couple of early minutes anyway for Proctor, but just a high energy level here from this Twinfield team.
Nib with the long three at the buzzer, doesn't get it. 54-33 the score after three quarters.
So I would say that was a very good quarter here for the Twinfield team.
Eli Russell had 8 points, I think, in that third quarter. And then you look at Omar McKissick Nib, had 10 points. He has 17 on the game right now, but 10 of those came in the third quarter. So Eli Russell and Nib, along with Ted Stewart, they led an onslaught in that third quarter that simply Proctor could not answer, could not handle the intensity of the defensive pressure by Twinfield. Greg, you talked about how this is a highly regarded team. They're seniors. They got a lot of experience. They're lanky. They're quick. And they got a bench. They got some players there that can come off the bench. This is going to be a tough team to beat. This is going to be a tough out for anybody, this Twinfield team, whether it's in the regular season or the playoffs. This is a very good team. They can shoot from the outside, very aggressive. They get a lot of points off of turnovers, layups, easy shots because of that. And right now, Proctor's got to find an answer. 21 points down, 54-33 here at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Twinfield here, the team in this tournament so far. Twinfield / Cabot. Want to make sure we
give the Cabot part of it a little bit of love, right?
Cabot High School is also part of this team. Some of these, they don't distinguish who comes from Cabot, but there are Cabot players on this team. So
Jeremy Cole, the head coach for Proctor, again, has got to get his team to believe they can make something happen here at the beginning of the fourth quarter. First 2 or 3 minutes of this quarter going to be the telltale sign whether they can make any inroads in on what is now a 21-point deficit as we're in play, fourth quarter from the Bougiani Gym in Proctor, Vermont.
Well, Proctor's going to have to do tonight in this quarter what they did last night in the third quarter. There's a shot. A little bit of that will be very helpful.
That's Mason Brothers with another 2. He's got 8 on the night unofficially.
All right, so Proctor back quickly on defense, right down the middle there. They're not cutting that middle off there. As Eli Russell taking it right into the paint for a shot.
And then after...
Would he hit the baseline?
No, he fouled Sawyer Crosman, did Eli Russell. That's his first foul of the night. But Crosman with a big rebound hung on to the ball as Russell kind of hacked him on the arm. So Proctor back on the offense. 54-37 the score.
All right, we're in the fourth quarter here of the championship game of the Bob Abrahamson Tip-Off Classic.
Ari Camp continuing to try to figure out how to drive. Again, off the rim and out of bounds, but it bounces off a Twinfield Cabot player.
And the official right there to say out of bounds, and will stay at the Proctor end of the floor.
So Gouge is out, Russell back in for Twinfield Cabot. First shot of the ball game.
Nice
for
pass.
Proctor's Jordan Weezy, and he gets 2 points.
Good team play there. Fernandez in on that as well with the assist.
Sawyer Crosman, the foul for Proctor. So Eli Russell will try to get it back in for the Twinfield Cabot Trojans. Tez Stewart, long three, off the front of the rim. Rebound by Weezy. Over to Airy Camp. Over to Brothers as they break half court. Back to Crosman, he tries to drive in. Ball blocked. Nib to Russell, fast break, 2 points. Twinfield makes it look easy. 56-39.
All right, Proctor with it, top of the circle, got full pressure here on the ball on Proctor as they get over the half-court line.
Fernandez finally on the scoreboard. Isaiah Fernandez gets 3 to go, and that is his second shot that's gone down tonight, so give him 6.
We said Isaiah Fernandez has been a little bit quiet here tonight on the Proctor side of things. Excellent game last night in that win against the Poultney Blue Devils.
Here's Tej Stewart again for 3. Ball rims out. Rebound by Nib. Nib goes back up. Ball bounces out to Omar. Airy Camp, rather. Isaiah Fernandez again for 3. Doesn't get it. At this point, Greg, last night he had 4 threes, tonight just 2 with 5:49 to go in the fourth and final quarter.
All right, so the ball going out of bounds over there at the sideline, and it's going to be Trojan basketball, so they'll be inbounding. Tej Stewart will bring it over the half-court line. Excellent game he's had here tonight. Excellent tournament. Nice pass.
What a great pass. Doesn't get the ball to go, though. Eli Russell will try a 3 now. Off the front of the rim. Mason Brothers with the rebound. Over to Weezy. Weezy trying to drive, get a pass off, but it bounces off a Twinfield player. They're quickly back on offense. Tis Tej Stewart. Stewart lays it up and in. 58-42.
That's what you call running the floor right there, up and down, back and forth we go. Proctor almost losing it.
I think Proctor's just trying to drive the ball too much, and they just can't handle that defense. Here we again. Russell with another layup.
Points on Proctor turnovers right there. Again, makes it 60-42. So
18 points for Eli Russell for Twinfield right now, unofficially. 12 of those have come in the second half. Here's Omar Nib. Here again, a quick pass to Zephyrin, and that is going to go in. That's Zephyrin Hebert. And right now, Twinfield is hitting the boosters. They're up 62-42. Camp trying to drive. Kicks it over to Weezy. Weezy can't handle it. Ball's out of bounds. Yet another turnover for Proctor. Braden Sheehy in the game. Airy Camp coming out for Proctor.
got about 4:25 left to go here in this tournament, and we will be handing out a championship trophy. Consolation game won by Twin Valley earlier over Poultney.
Long three-pointer goes down. Zephyrin Hebert gets the bucket. And the gap grows to 23 points.
You get those threes there and kind of steals your energy when you see those things drop and you're trailing by a lot.
Sam McLean, foul called on him from Twinfield.
All right, so Proctor going to be inbounding here at the baseline. It's not Tej.
Mason Brothers.
Brothers, number 2.
Braden Sheehy, quick fake, loses the ball. Tej Stewart picks his pocket and gets the foul and the bucket as Braden Sheehy made a big block. Got a lot of contact at the same time.
Well, number 2 there for Twinfield. If you're going to pick an MVP of this tournament, would likely be him.
I tell you what, Eli Russell for those guys has looked well, but this is a very good-looking player for sure. Tej Stewart, senior point guard for Twinfield, makes it a three-point play, and the gap now 68-42, 26 points.
All right, Chris Batter, the head coach for
full timeout, Twinfield. Yep.
All right, so it's been kind of a fun tournament here, Mark, with under 4 minutes left to go here in this contest.
When I came to Vermont this weekend, I never thought this would be what I'd be doing and having so much fun doing it. So I appreciate the invite, Greg, to be able to do this on PEGTV, able to come to the Proctor gym where I did a game back in 1979. So it's been kind of a really cool weekend to be able to do this. I appreciate the invite.
Well, it's always a thrill to have you come back here and be a part of this. I remember doing stuff with you way back when.
Oh, my gosh.
Had a lot of big venues you've been at over the course of time.
Do you remember during the football season, I would have you, there's my highlighter pen.
Oh.
Don't be stealing my highlighter. Doing football, you do a halftime show. I actually did that back once upon a time. I had sideline reporters and halftime shows, and you guys would all pitch in. None of us were getting paid, but we're having a blast doing those ball games.
I remember technology's changed too.
No lie there.
All kinds of different ways to deliver this now, so we see that now.
If you want a sideline reporter back then, you had to roll out 200 feet of cable.
Well, I remember we finally got a wireless mic, and that was the greatest thing ever, right? You made use of that. So we go down on the sideline and talk here.
That's right. I mean, can you imagine being so amazed by that back then? But we were like, wow, this is something we've never seen before. So Proctor, Mason Brothers will put the ball back in as they try to.
Kind of fun to talk about that. That radio station we are referring to, folks, was a Proctor radio station. There was a Proctor radio station.
It was right across from
Wilson Castle.
Wilson Castle. It used to be the horse stables for Wilson Castle, and they were transformed into a radio station. And so we still slung the manure. We just didn't. They didn't put any on the ground. We just slung the manure at the radio station.
But a lot of people made their way through there over the years.
Oh man, Bob Bascom, Jack Healy. Oh man, so many really great broadcasters.
All right, shot put up there. Caden Dean going to miss that one. We see it get knocked out of bounds here at the sideline. Looks like it's going to stay with Twinfield. Got about 3:22 left to go here in this game. Obviously well in the hands of Twinfield. Cabot.
Ted Stewart, long three off the front of the rim. Rebound by Fernandez. Fernandez trying to draw two defenders. Gets the ball over half court to Crosman. Crosman, long three. That might have been 40 feet. So, whoa.
Twinfield.
Russell slams into Aaron Brock. And that's going to be an offensive foul. And now Twinfield
Whole new
has called in the troops, and they will shut it down as all their reserves come onto the court. Nib remains out there of their starters. Coming out for Twinfield, Wyatt Bickford is on the court. So is Azim Stewart. Also Sam Churchill on the court. And Ben Monaco with their starter, Omar McKissick-Nib, who at this point has 17 points and has done a great job offense and defense in this game for Twinfield Cabot.
All right, we come on to 3 minutes left to go here in our contest. These are the Proctor Phantoms controlling at top of the circle. Isaiah Fernandez drives into that right corner, kicks it out to Sawyer Crosman. Sawyer going to let one rip from three-point range and misses that. Rebound by Twinfield. Good fast break down the floor. Even the guys off the bench got that part of the game going here. There's a shot from over on the sideline. The shooter knocked to the floor.
Lucas Cole committed the foul.
Going to be 3 shots.
For Proctor. Yeah, that was a very, very crazy foul to put on a team right there. So Lucas Cole in the game for Proctor.
Wyatt.
Those are the ones coaches don't like to see. They just don't want to see that.
Wyatt Bickford, number 10, is who you see here on the line. Wyatt going to get, should be 3 shots, I would guess. Wyatt's one of the seniors.
So they're trying, Proctor will be. And there we go. Wyatt Bickford is on the scoreboard. He gets a point. And coming into the game for Proctor is going to be number 3, Jace Seldrick. And Bickford gets 2 out of the 3.
All right, 2:33 left to go in our ball game, championship game here at Bougiani Gymnasium. Ball on the floor. Sawyer Crosman showing some good hustle, picks it up. Tosses it over to one of his teammates. Going to get a shot off. That's Caden Dean. Going to miss that one. Twinfield Cabot with the rebound. And clearing that one was Sam Churchill. And it is the Trojans with it at their end of the floor. Thought that was a travel. Yeah, there we go.
Now coming into the game for Proctor, number 15, Griffin Pomeroy, along with number 22, Camden Scooby Kimball, as Sawyer Crossman now brings the ball up court.
All right,
2 minutes left now in the game, 70-42. Twinfield Cabot has broken the game wide open.
Sawyer Crosman's shot comes off the rim. Rebound attempt there, not able to get to it, was Scooby Kimball. And it goes out of bounds back to the Trojans. Take us to 1:50 left to go here, under 2 minutes left to go here in this ball game.
Pomeroy, good defense, but Nib down the lane. He'll get another two. He could be making a run at the most valuable player in this tournament right now. He has looked really strong offensively and defensively. Good looking player, Omar McKissick Nib. 30-second timeout for Proctor with 1:24 to go in the fourth quarter.
All right, so Coach Cole taking that timeout. Again, I want to mention congratulations to the folks that put this tournament on. They do a wonderful job. It's a lot of work doing something like this. You get people up there, as you see, working hard on the concessions, people working at the door, people working cleaning, the gymnasium, referees. So,
it's one of those things you don't really understand it all unless you're involved, the logistics of it, even though it's just a local basketball game. But as you just pointed out, all the little things that go into it, right? You have ticket takers. You got people, taking a look at the parking lot. You got people in the concession stand. It's a team effort, right? The school has to come together. The faculty and everybody in the school coming together to make a great tournament like this.
And they did have a makeover in this gymnasium. I think I mentioned that on the earlier production, but they painted and cleaned up, put new banners up on the wall during the course of the summer, so nice job on that too. Inbounded shot taken by Proctor, going to miss that shot. And we get a breakaway layup at the other end of the floor.
And that is going to be Azim Stewart with 2 points. Scooby Kimball tries to get it. He swings it around, bounce pass, and a long three-pointer off of Pomeroy for Proctor as he tried to get the rebound.
Jay Sheldrick on that shot attempt. Everybody getting a chance to have, there's a trophy over there I see across the way. The new athletic director bringing that onto the floor, so we'll see that handed out shortly.
Azim Stewart. Step back three for Twinfield off the front of the gym. Pomeroy with a rebound to Lucas Cole. Cole looking for Scooby Kimball. Kimball to Sheldrick. Kimball with the three off the backboard, doesn't go. Try to get a pass over to Sawyer Crosman. Crosman, though, was breaking the other way. Ball out of bounds. And another turnover for Proctor. That has certainly been a problem for them tonight. Is number of, not only the number of turnovers, but ill-timed turnovers that Twinfield Cabot has made him pay. Lucas Cole gets the steal, tries to drive off the rim, ball out to Twinfield again, and this is going to be it right here. Time is running out.
All right, time did run out. That is the end of the game as we have a win here. Twinfield Cabot defeating the Proctor Phantoms 74-42 for the championship of the Bob Abrahamson tournament here in Proctor at Bougiani Gymnasium. As right dead center in front of us, you can see both teams with the final handshake. Congratulations to a very well-played game, well-played tournament, and Twinfield just one of the more highly regarded teams, Mark, as we said coming in here. We knew they were very good. They showed us that tonight.
And they're going to get better, as the season goes on. That's a little bit of a scary thought for some of the teams that are going to have to face this team. again, very good on offense and defense. Very strong.
All right, the tournament namesake, Bob Abrahamson over there, is the gentleman you see on camera holding the trophy that will hand out the championship trophy here, the Abrahamson tournament here tonight. They're the Twinfield Cabot guys going forward to accept that trophy and shake his hand, and just a fun thing to be a part of here tonight on PEGTV. Want to check some stats if we can get that.
Yeah, we'll get those here in just a bit here. We'll get the official scoring from this game tonight.
Trophy held high there by the champions of the tournament, Twinfield Cabot, repeating actually too. So they won that trophy last year. So
this is a team that's loaded for the season and could very well be a championship contender before it's over. Again, a very good-looking number of players. And again, their defense is what impressed me. They had some great offense, but defense. You can play that kind of defense, you're going to be in a lot of ball games week in, week out. And all season long, this will be a very tough team, a tough out for anybody. And Proctor, again, held on for basically 2 quarters before the avalanche came in the third quarter. And I guess turnaround is fair play, because last night against Polteny, that's the third quarter. Proctor rolled on them pretty hard, blew the game open, and went on to an easy victory. Tonight, the shoe was on the other foot.
All right, picture time here. The guys lining up for a final photo here as the champions, and we'll have more in a moment. All right, again, a very nice win here, 74-42 tonight. Twinfield defeating Proctor. And Mark, we got the Twinfield scoring here. We have Sam McLean finished up with a total of 2 points. Tej Stewart finishes up with a total of 18.
Eli Russell had 18 as well, 11 points for Zephyrin Hebert. Then you had 2 points for Azim Stewart. Then Omar McKissick-Nib, he had 15 points. Then 6 points for the Thomas Gouge had 6 points for them. When you look at Proctor scoring, Aaron Brock had 6, 7 for Mason Brothers, 4 points for Jay Cedric and Ari Camp. Then you had 2 for Cameron Camp, 7 points apiece for Caden Dean, Braden Sheehy, 6 for Jordan Weezy, and then Isaiah Fernandez had 6, and then 2 for Jordan Weezy. So again, Proctor really never got off the ground tonight. And again, I go back to the defense from Twinfield. So Proctor's got a great team. They're going to win a lot of ball games this year. They're going to get better. They're going to cut down on the turnovers. The shooting's going to be better. And they certainly have a team that could challenge for a playoff and potentially a championship at the end of the year.
All right, Mark Garrett, it's been a lot of fun doing this for a couple of nights. Thank you for helping out, being a part of this.
It has been so cool getting back in the saddle with you doing the game. And as I said last night, I said on my Facebook thing, if we can get your brother Chris to come over and do a game with us, I would go, hey, Yoko, we're going to put the band back together. You know, that would be pretty cool. But it was great, Greg. You know, all those years ago doing that at WHWB, getting a break in this business with your dad, and then getting a chance to work with you and your brother Chris all these years, and now getting a chance to do this ball game, do a couple of these this weekend. I can't thank you enough for letting me share the mic.
All right, it's been a pleasure. All right, congratulations again to the Twinfield Cabot team for the championship win here tonight. And we had all 4 teams in here. Twin Valley, excellent tournament. Polteny, and well, we had Proctor as well, and just a great night.
We've seen some great players. Look at Polteny. Was it Kendall Hedrick? I believe his name?
Eric Kendall.
Eric, yeah. Fantastic player. I mean, he is going to score a lot of points this year for Polteny. I really enjoyed watching him play. And so we saw a lot of great competition, big crowds both nights, and Proctor High School can be very proud of this tournament.
All right, nice job, folks here at Proctor, for putting this tournament on, and they're going to throw us out of here in a minute, Mark, so we'll finish up.
Time to go?
Yes. All right, well, thank you very much, and you, our PEGTV viewers, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.